Aspinall, UFC interim heavyweight champion, is going to be facing off Curtis Blaydes, July 27th, UFC Manchester. How's it feel to be back home, fighting at home in front of the home audience?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. I've never fought in Manchester before. I'm from Manchester, so I've headlined the O2 in London 3 times, and yeah, now I'm about to fight in my home city, which is, I think fighting away from home is actually way easier than fighting at home. Fighting at home comes with way, way more pressure, and this time even more so. But I love it. I love the pressure. Like, this is why I'm in this thing, to test myself and to see if I can do what I do under immense pressure. And I'm looking forward to testing myself on July 27th.
What kind of pressure are you facing? What kind of pressure do you face fighting at home?
Well, it's just like everyone wants you to. I mean, you're always going to have supporters and people want you to win, but when you're at home, especially in Manchester, like, it's literally near enough going to be 25,000 people wanting me to win. So that's or not even just wanting me to win, but expecting me to win, and that comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of media obligations and a lot of people wanting my attention and all that kind of stuff. Like that brings pressure and expectation. But I'm all right with it, man. Like, I've done a lot of stuff in my career so far, and I'm used to this kind of stuff now, so I'll be fine.
All right, so Manchester, it's kind of weird because there's a weird start time for this, right? I don't know, I'm not sure exactly what time it is over there, but it is a weird start time for you guys. It's kind of like in the middle of the night or in the morning. Um, how are you preparing for that time difference that you have to fight in against Curtis Blaydes?
Well, I've been told that I'm going to walk to my fight at like between 4 and 4:30 a.m. So it's obviously not ideal in terms of performance, but um, it's something that I'm going to prepare myself for mentally and physically. I'm going to start training around the same time I'm going to fight a couple of weeks out. I'm going to start slowly but surely moving my body clock along. I spoke to Leon Edwards. He's going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to copy his model because he's got a sleep therapist involved. And yeah, I'm going to make sure that I'm ready to fight optimally, if that's even a word. But I'm going to be on my best performance at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. UK time, and it's going to be a great fight. So regardless of what time it is, people will be tuning in, and people need to tune in because these are the two best heavyweights in the world fighting each other.
Do you have an advantage because you don't have to travel? He has to come, and then he has to then adjust the time, or there's no big deal, right? You both have to deal with the same kind of time adjustment, right?
Well, originally my thought was I'm going to go to Vegas and train. That was my original thought, to get on the time zone of the West Coast of America, because it's like the same time zone that I'll be fighting on. So that was my original thought. I've also trained with a couple of guys over there. I'm comfortable there. Spent some time training with Extreme Couture, a good team out there and stuff. So I thought originally that's what I thought I'm going to do. But the issue is, traveling back 16 plus hours is just as exhausting, if not more exhausting, than changing my time zone. So I would rather stay home. I'd rather prepare myself at home and slowly but surely change my body clock a little bit. So I'll be in tune, ready for to fight at 4, 5 a.m. if I need to.
So tell me about Curtis Blaydes. I mean, you guys fought. I mean, if you could kind of, it was 15 seconds or 20 seconds or however long it was. But how do you see him as an opponent? I know you guys hung out maybe a little bit, but as an opponent, what does he do well? What are you coming prepared for when you come in on July 27th?
I think Curtis Blaydes is by far the most the most stylistically tough matchup for me in the division. I said that before we fought the first time. Yeah, he's good at everything. He's a veteran. He's still young and hungry. He's not won a title yet. The guy's really, really, really good. The guy's a good guy as well. He's a good human being. All that stuff aside, we have a massive problem professionally. The problem is right now he's technically got a win over me, and I don't like it. So I got to go and show him, listen, I'm the better guy, and you ain't coming into Manchester beating me, mate. No chance. Absolutely no chance. And yeah, he's good everywhere. I can't say anything wrong with Curtis's style or Curtis as a human being. Like, he's really good, both being a top level MMA fighter and being a top level human being. I like him. Really cool guy. But I'm gonna have to beat him up. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's nothing personal, only professional, and I'm gonna win on the 27th of July.
Did you consider that first fight a loss because it was a freak injury, 15 seconds long? And do you feel that was a loss?
For me personally, if on the record books it says it's a loss, then it's a loss. Like, for example, earlier in my career, before I got to the UFC, I got a DQ loss. I don't think I should have been DQ'd in the fight. I'm not a dirty fighter by any means. I didn't do an illegal move, but I still got disqualified for it. I was winning the fight, but it's gone down as a loss on the record. And if it's gone down as a loss, technically it's a loss. So I obviously want to get that one back against Curtis Blaydes.
All right, so obviously you're the interim champion. There's another champion in the division, John Jones. I'm sure you're going to get asked. I'm sure you've already been asked 100 times. I'm sure you're going to get asked probably 200, 300 times from here to the fight night. How do you deal with that? Do you just not talk about it? Do you just not even hear it? Do you just ignore it? How do you deal with, that weird, awkward situation with John Jones in the division?
Well, at first I was obviously pushing and rallying for the fight. That's the fight I wanted, but it's not going to happen. So I got to leave that where it is, because right now I'm fighting Curtis Blaydes, and if I look past a guy like Curtis Blaydes, before I know it, the referee's going to be waking me up. Simple as that. Like, this guy can't be looked past at all. He's one of the most dangerous guys in the whole world. So I ain't looking past him at all. Right now, John Jones and all that situation is quite irrelevant to me. I'm thinking about Curtis Blaydes only.
Regarding John Jones, you guys did bump into each other. You put your hand on his shoulder, and he kind of brushed it off. You kind of did the same thing with Pavlich before. Is that your go-to move? Just put your hand on their shoulder? Just were you trying to feel him out? What was going on there?
Nothing's going on. I think everyone's reading into it too much. I'm just a friendly guy. That's how I show affection by. I'm a touchy guy, I guess, when I like somebody. And I was just trying to be respectful, man. John took it the wrong way.
All right, so there was another funny interaction. UFC 300, Alex Pereira was walking the cage. There's this picture of you staring at him, like mean mugging him. What was going on there? Are people reading into that as well?
Yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, in UFC 300, I had the best seat in the whole. I was so lucky to get that seat. Like, the UFC really, really looked after me with that one. They put me in the best seat in the house. And I was there. I was there for the fight walk-ins, but it wasn't just Alex Pereira that I was doing that with. I'm a high-level athlete myself. I'm the best athlete in the world in the heavyweight division, and I want to see how other athletes reacting mentally and physically moments before they go to battle with another man. Like, I'm interested in that kind of thing. How are they looking psychologically? And that's all I was doing there. But I was also doing that with the women's flyweight fight. You know what I mean? It wasn't just, I wasn't eyeing him up like I want to fight with him. I was just looking like, oh, what's this guy looking at? And I thought it was a cool picture, man. So I posted it.
All right, so quick question. Eddie Hall, we saw you, there was a clip of you training with him. He fought last week. He fought some weird freak MMA fight against 245 pounders or something. What did you make of his fight, and how did you make, what was it with your sparring with him? What did you make of his MMA skills when you sparred with him?
Well, first, we'll start with this fight. I think it's a crazy concept.
How many 145 pounders can you take on?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I think it's quite a brave move on Eddie's part. I think it would be difficult to fight two guys at the same time. So fair play to Eddie. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it. It was interesting. It's something that I've not seen before in an MMA space, at least. And yeah, Eddie's obviously a very big, strong guy. The guy's, don't know what he is in pounds, but he's like 180 kilos, so 160 kilos. He's about nearly 400 pounds, probably, something like that, maybe a bit more. The guy's a big, strong guy, and he does have some skills as well. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we're sparring. Eddie's a friend of mine. I'm trying to help him along with his sparring. I'm not trying to we're not having an ego off. I'm not trying to knock him out or anything like that. I'm helping him try and improve his skills and give him different looks on things. I'm not trying to knock him out. Obviously, I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. If I wanted to hurt him, I'm sure I could, even though he's a big, strong guy. But yeah, Eddie's a friend of mine, so I'm just trying to help him with the training in any way possible. That's what you see in the sparring sessions.
All right, so here with Cuervo, 1 round in the Octagon challenge. Tell us about the challenge, the Cuervo challenge, what they're doing with.
Yeah, so Cuervo is the official tequila sponsor of the UFC. It's something that I was very familiar with, especially back when I was injured and I was drinking a lot. Yeah, that they helped me through that that tough times. But yeah, they invited me over to be an ambassador for Cuervo. I went over there. Wasn't really sure what I was doing, to be honest, at the time. I just, wanted to be involved with it because it's a brand that I like, and I knew that it was the official tequila sponsor of the UFC. So, yeah, we went there and they wanted to do like 1 round, but they didn't tell the contestants. Well, basically, they brought some guys in, and we're going to call these guys opponents. They brought the opponents in, and the opponents basically left a bad review on Cuervo, and they then brought them out and surprised them to do like 1 round with me. So I had to do 1 round with one of these opponents. And they made it out like we were going to do an MMA round, but we were actually going to do a round of Cuervo together. But yeah, so I'm like scaring the life out of these guys, making them think that they're going to do a round of MMA with me. We did the whole stare down, we did the whole smack talking thing. I'm, cracking the pads as hard as I can. Obviously, I'm a big, strong guy. So the sound effects are on, and some of these guys are like genuinely scared. And I had a guy in my ear telling me what to say, and he was saying some hilarious